Okay guys, I just finished my tube routing and I would like to show you what's final connections for the tubing was. This part we covered last time, so no changes, everything stays the same. I just added second card and did some connections on the bottom of it, and also I would like to show you what I did on the back. This time I decided to skip on SLI kit. The spacing between two graphical cards is going from the slot 1 and slot 3, so distance between cards is pretty long. And there was no problem to put two compression fittings on both cards and put another accent tube in orange between both. Another thing that I did, something that was suggested in one of my earliest videos, to put orange O-rings on the stop plugs, and I decided to use acrylic stop plugs. You can see I have 4 of those, and I put those orange O-rings, which is UV reactive, and I think it's look kind of interesting. I also put LED lights on all of 4 plugs, and to give additional glow, in addition of my UV lights that I connected behind the card. You can see all cables is black sleeved, so you can't really see them that much. Another difference that I did this time, I wanted to have a drain tube from the bottom of my card as I did in my previous build, but I actually noticed that my card is not the lowest point of my build anymore, and my lowest point is the coolant reservoir. So it makes more sense to drain water from the lowest point, so I just put stop plug there. And the connection to reservoir just goes as I planned, from the bottom of the card going behind of the case. Something different I did this time for me, first time ever I'm using coils on my tubing. I think it's maybe a good idea in this particular case because the tube is going through the several bands and also will be squished by the side panel when it will be installed, so I think some additional protection is not that bad idea. Also, there's something that I would like to try first time again. I would like to have 2 fill ports on the top of my reservoir. A lot of people complain that coolant is really hard to bleed, and I never tried it myself, but I would like to see if I can do something that help me with the process. Because one of the problems when you fill your reservoir using one tube, that the water goes down, air goes up, and everything gets clogged quite often, and it takes some time to put water in. So I think that when I have 2 independent channels going from and to reservoir, the filling will be much faster, and hopefully I can do it in a more speed manner. Here close up on a busy area with reservoir and the controller assembly. As you can see, I use both ports that I was talking earlier. One for putting water in and second for free air escape out. So those 2 tubes goes up. This tube is coming in is from, actually it's going to a radiator. This tube is going from the back of the case and coming from the bottom of the GPU. And I'm using one pump in this particular build, at least for now. And so those 2 connections is not used. And one is with a stop plug, and the second is my drain port, because this is the lowest point of my build. So when I need to drain, I will open one of the tubes on the top to let air coming in, and the water should flow freely and let me to flush my system when I need it. So that's final tube routing. I'm going to start filling water and see if there are any leaks or any other potential problems here, and we'll see what I can film for you and if it makes any sense. Okay, let's give it a try. Those 2 tubes is a good idea. I filled it up in a second. Filling up was relatively easy. I have to tilt case couple times. Other than that, I don't see any problems. Bleeding process wasn't as painful either. It's still going on, but I would like to tell you guys that this new radiator system with parallel tubes without one common shared chamber for parallel tubes is much better for sure for bleeding purposes. This rod get pushed all air from the first attempt. There was nothing trapped. So it's I have more problems with the blocks than with radiators this time. Usually radiator is the hardest part to get rid of all air inside, and so this is definitely different. This is good improvement in design. So definitely when whatever they release it, it will be make life of the people much easier with the initial filling up process. Here we go. I ran my system for overnight. There are no issues, no leaking, so I have still some bubbles going on inside of reservoir, but it will take a few days to get rid of those. So it's a normal process. You have the same as a cylindrical reservoir or any other kind of reservoir when you just start using your system. So we'll just leave this as it is, and the next step for me was trying to put all cables in order into the system, and I'd like to show you what I did here so far. So I decided to use some custom sleeving job. I have two cables that I was considering to use. One was a graphite metallic type of the cable, and other was a I call it Predator, but this is kind of orange, UV orange color with some metallic component to it. And I tried one of those and second, and didn't really like completely both on separate manner. So what I decided to do, I just mix them up, as you can see. And I think that looks pretty neat because as I said, Predator has a silver component into it, and adding even more like graphite color to the mix looks pretty neat. So that's what I ended up with my custom sleeving job. And my biggest problem turned to be is number of power outlets I require for all LED lights that I cramped into the system. So what I decided to do, I pulled one of the Bits Power power splitters that I want to use, and only to discover that the entire thing has only male connectors all over the place. And as you know, you have also male connector on your LED. So like, okay, great. So I have to spend entire evening making female extension cables that I can actually use in order to connect all my LEDs to the splitter. So it was unexpected delay for almost a day trying to fix this out. So what I will do now, I will try to actually to connect everything together and see if I can light up entire setup properly, and then we'll try to power it up. And I hope I didn't broke anything on the way, and at least the system is alive. Otherwise, it's making no sense to continue. Alright, so I will do that, and we'll come back to show you the initial power up. Will be very nerve-breaking process, at least for a few seconds.